Hey, good morning, everybody. Thank you guys for joining. So excited. This is Thursday afternoon. We're down to 3 weeks from today is Thanksgiving. That is so exciting. Um, Glad that you guys are here and you want to see a quick, fun craft that I'm going to use some things I already had upstairs that I pulled out to put this together to show you guys how easy this is. Um, what I'm going to be doing is making a Christmas wreath. It's going to say Merry Christmas. Give me just 1 second. It's going to say Merry Christmas. But it's also going to be mounted on an embroidery hoop. I think this is a 12 or a 14-inch embroidery hoop. So it's not huge, but it's plenty big enough. Get my volume turned down. Hey, Megan. Hey, Natalie. Oh, Natalie, thank you for the compliment. Some days I don't feel quite so put together, especially days when I'm having trouble getting the grandbaby down for a nap. I've already put him down a couple of times today. Well, this is the second time this morning. He would not sleep, so I thought, okay, we'll get him back up and feed him a little bit more food, play with him for a while, and hopefully we can do a midday live. So that's what I'm trying to do. So I think he's trying to tell me that he's going to go down to one nap a day instead of a morning and an afternoon. Hey, Anna. Thank you for sprinkling, Megan. Hey, Ruth. Good morning. As you guys hop on, go ahead like everybody else is and tell me that you're here and that you're watching. If you're new to the group, I appreciate you being here. Drop me a message and say, hey, this is my first time, or I'm new, or whatever you want to say. But we're going to go ahead and get started. Naps. What are naps? Exactly, Megan. So, like I said, I'm going to be using an embroidery hoop. I have this Merry Christmas wood cutout words that I got from Hobby Lobby. It was $3.99, 50% off, makes it $2. Super cute. It is stained around the edges. You guys can see this is already stained, and this is just raw wood. We're going to be painting that. I'm also going to buffalo check this. My background for the wreath, hey Jessica, thank you Anna for sprinkling. The background for the wreath is going to be burlap. It just barely fits in this hoop, but I can make it work. I have used it before. And then I've got several ribbons. This is kind of my inspiration for today. It's a Christmas tree, not burlap, but it kind of looks like burlap, and it's got all these different Christmas trees. You have red and black plaid. You have black and tan and green. Anyway, we're going to go off of this and make this a buffalo check. Even though these are not really buffalo checks, they're a plaid. But I'm going to add red and black buffalo checks, so I'm going to make my Merry Christmas will actually match this. Of course, I'm going to use some other burlap ribbon and some goodies, and I think I'm going to make a hanger out of my red cranberry beads. So let's get started. This should not take a super long amount of time. I'm going to undo my embroidery hoop. Just unscrew it a little bit. This is the inner side, or the inner portion. I don't have to do anything to that. But after the last time when I made Christmas ornaments out of those tiny embroidery hoops, some people recommended that I stain or paint the outside of the hoop so it's not just raw. So we're going to do that today. I'm going to do a couple of different paints. This is going to be black. I also need to paint my words red. Except I did not bring my red paint downstairs. So I guess I'll start with the black. Mark, if you are watching, I do not have red paint. Mark is my husband. He is upstairs and he is working. He works from home, and he is my keep my head on straight everything person. He's the one that helps me make sure that I've got everything that I need. That's one of the things I don't have is my red paint. I think it's sitting on the shelf upstairs. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and start with this black. I'm going to use Waverly chalk paint. The color is ink, and that's what I'm going to paint this hoop with. It dries pretty quick, but I do have a blow dryer just in case I need some extra help. And I don't need to do the inside, just the outside edge and then the top edge that'll be showing. Be showing around the edges. So this should not take very long. If it gets on the inside, that's totally fine. The burlap is going to be in there. I'm actually going to put some paint over that little metal too. None of the top is actually going to show. You guys know me, it's going to have a bow, it's going to have some greenery on it. So that all that metal at the top of this embroidery hoop will not show. That's just one of the things I like to do, is cover all of that up. This goes on super, super fast. I know, Anna, I'm so excited when I can be back in a home of my own, after we close on our new house, and I have my own craft room and everything is already in there at my fingertips, and I don't have to go searching, or if I forget something that's not out in front of me, at least I can grab it. It'll be just really close by. So I'm really excited for that. So today is 3 weeks from today is Thanksgiving. We will probably stay in the house the first time Thanksgiving night. Of course, we're not having Thanksgiving dinner there, because who has time for that when you just moved in? I won't have dishes or anything. But we will start doing a couple of small renos. I will be tagging you guys along with me as we renovate a couple of small things like the kitchen. I'll be sure to shoot a lot of videos. I may do some lives from the new kitchen. We'll see. But that is coming up. So I've changed my mind. I'm actually going to go ahead and paint the back side, because if I hang this over on a door that has a window, I don't want the back to look ugly. So I want the back to look as finished, I guess. Hey Janet, good morning. You guys don't forget, as we go along this morning, to sprinkle. And that means S-H-A-R-E. Thank you, I'm sorry. That means S-H-A-R-E. Invite your friends to watch along, or invite your friends to watch the replay. Either way, it does not make any difference to me. Okay, I've got half of it done. Move around. This really does not take that long. But I think the black will make it look more finished. I appreciate all of the advice that I got when I did those Christmas ornaments by saying finish up the edges. So the black will make it look more finished, and it will also tie in really well with my red and black buffalo check words, Merry Christmas. Hey Carolyn, how are you today? Glad to see you watching. You guys, Facebook is funny. I'm learning more about it every day. Sometimes I'll get a notification that pops up that tells me who's here, and then sometimes I just see the eyeball number growing. So it's really strange how it works. I'm trying to figure out all the algorithms, and did I just lose video? Thank you for sprinkling, Shannon. Can somebody tell me if you can see me? I think I just lost myself. Am I having connection issues? Carolyn, you're doing good. So can you guys see me right now? Okay, Ruth, you can see me. Well, I lost video on myself. That's okay. As long as you guys can see, I don't care if I can see myself or not. Okay, so I'm almost finished with this, and I'm going to blow dry it really fast. All right, thanks, Anna. Thanks, Ruth. I don't know why I can't see myself, but that's okay. I know what I look like, and sometimes I know it's better to not look at myself. Okay. I think that is good enough. Get my paint out of the way. I'm going to reach down here and grab the blow dryer. I want this to dry pretty quick. Bear with me on the noise just for 1 second, okay? Carolyn, y'all, okay, everybody says you can see me. I just can't see myself. One of these days I may invest in one of those heat guns to dry my projects, but I keep thinking, why spend $15 more if I've got a blow dryer? It all works about the same. I see a spot that I missed. Fix that. I think the black hoop will be cute, especially when I put that buffalo check in there. Okay, this is still pretty wet, but I'm going to lay it to the side and move on to the next portion. Let me move some of my stuff out of the way. Got a piece of parchment paper. I can lay it on right here and let it dry. There we go. Okay. Got a lot of different elements this morning in front of me. I'm trying not to get things too piled up in front of you guys. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my Merry Christmas, and I'm going to paint it red. I'm not going to do the edges because the edges are stained, okay? I'm just going to do the actual at the top of the front of the words themselves. And I'm just going to squirt out a little bit of paint here and there. You might be able to tell that I wasn't super prepared today, mainly because I was dealing with a baby all the way up until 11:27 when I thought I was going to be going live at 11:30. So I don't have a plate. I'm just going to squirt my paint on the front and get it on. I am using, this is Anita's all-purpose acrylic paint. This came from Hobby Lobby. I normally do use apple barrel paint from Walmart. One is just as good as the other. I just picked this up while I was in Hobby Lobby. And it goes on super easy. It does not take very much at all, and for sure, this is not chalk paint, it's just acrylic paint, and I know this will dry very quickly. This is going to be so cute. I bought a couple of these when I was in Hobby Lobby. I didn't have a plan on what I was going to do to use them, but I knew I would come up with an idea. I'm skipping around on my painting because I squirted it on the letters, and some places it's thick, so I'm just using that as my, kind of like my paint tray. There we go. But this will dry super quick. So after I get done with the red, I'm going to buffalo check this with black. It will be so cute. Squirt a little bit more out. I'm just doing this as if it's my paint tray. So I have been watching on Facebook, a lot of people, have already started, a lot of people have already started their Christmas decorating. So you guys tell me if you have or not. Shannon, Shannon asked if this is the same paint that I use when I dye my beads with paint. You know how I mix water and I mix paint together. Shannon, I'm not sure if I've used this or... Actually, I know when I did my red beads, I did use the Anita's. But I know when I did my black beads a couple of days ago, yesterday or whatever day it was, I used the apple barrel from Walmart. So I think one is just as good as the other. I think they're interchangeable. I don't see a lot of difference. I do follow some craft pages on Facebook, some other crafters, and I think their consensus too, everybody's consensus is the acrylic paints, one is pretty much as good as the other. The coverage is great, regardless of which one I've used, so. And the staining technique that I use when I'm staining something, staining the beads or staining with a baby wipe or whatever, is just to dilute it with water. Got my paint kind of thick and it's running down the edge in one spot. Let me kind of catch it if I can get this up in there. It won't matter if it runs down the edge, I just don't want it to glop and have a big mess. There we go. So I just got my paper towel up in the middle and kind of caught it so it wouldn't keep dripping down the side. Yeah, and a Thanksgiving weekend I think is the #1 choice for most people, but I have seen a lot of people doing the decorating way early. You know, I really think it has to do with everything going on in the world right now. I think people are just looking for some happiness, and if decorating for Christmas early makes you happy, then I say go for it. I don't know, if I were already in my house this year, I might I might decorate before Thanksgiving. I don't know. I don't know if I would or not. But I can tell you this, I've already ordered my new Christmas tree. I've already got it. I've had it for several weeks now. And before we even have furniture up in our new house, we will have a Christmas tree up. Oh, yay. So you're going to move in before Thanksgiving, Ruth? I get to move in Thanksgiving weekend. We'll be new house twinsies. But we will actually put our Christmas tree up Thanksgiving weekend, even though we don't get furniture until the Monday after Thanksgiving. So we're going to have our tree up with no furniture. For sure. Won't have any ornaments either, because they're, all my decorations are packed away except for the new items I've made. But it'll be a beautiful tree. And I stepped out of the box this year. We went back to a colored light Christmas tree. I have not had one since my youngest son was very young, probably 8, 9, 10, something like that, since the last time, and he is 25. So I've had a white light Christmas tree for years and years. But I got a flocked tree, and it has colored lights. Jessica, I should have done that. I really thought about, okay, we've got this tree, I'm going to be so excited and ready to get it put up. And then, I bought it a month ago or whenever it was, and I'm thinking, what if it doesn't work? And I ordered it off of QVC. So if I pull it out of the box and the lights won't come on, then what am I going to do? So they better work, because I did not open it up to check it all out. I should have. Okay, I'm almost done covering up my Christmas words. Got one little spot right here. I think that looks pretty good. I don't want to have any thick gunked up paint because I want it to dry quick. Okay, so there's my Merry Christmas. It looks on the computer screen, it looks like it's not nearly as bright of color as it is, but believe me, it is true red. I saw a spot I wanted to wipe off, but I'm not sure where it is now. Down inside some of the letters, it dripped over the edge. Right there it is. Okay, I think that's pretty good. I am going to, I'm reading comments. I'm going to set this one aside to dry. I'm going to get my hoop back over here. It's pretty much dry. Let me lay this on my parchment paper. Get the paint off my hands. Good thing about working with acrylic paint is that you can wash it off anytime. And I actually got some on my surface, on my work mat. I wash this thing up every single day anyway, but I'm still going to get that off. Okay. So I'm going to pull the blow dryer back out real fast, make sure this black is good and dry, because I do not want to get any of my paint on my burlap. Hold on just one second. Yeah, Anna got a new tree this year too, but she chose no lights, which is really smart, because we all know that these lights don't last but a couple of years, and then we have to be adding new lights every year anyway. because she opted for no lights this year, and then you just change them out. You have white one year, color the next, or whatever. I think this is pretty dry. Now there are a couple of spots that are not. Maybe I should have stuck with the acrylic paint instead of the chalk paint. But you live and you learn. The chalk paint is, I like it because it's a matte surface, a matte finish. Yeah, it's still a little bit wet. I think that might be pretty good. There was a spot that was still wet when I laid it down. I'm just going to touch and make sure that it all looks pretty dry. That's the back side. This is the front. Actually, I don't guess it matters. I just don't want any of the paint to come off on my in my burlap when I put it on. I'm just taking that paper towel and rubbing it all around, make sure that it's not gonna bleed anywhere. Of course, you can see it was a little bit wet because I'm getting it on my hands. Okay, so before I actually glue my burlap on my surface, so the burlap will lay on this ring. This ring will go on top, so that's the ring that's going to be on the outside that you'll actually see. I have decided that I'm going to use my cranberries to make a hanger, and I want my rope that my cranberries are on. Look at this. You guys, I'm calling this cranberries. It's red beads. They look like, they remind me of cranberries when you would string cranberries, or you would see pictures. I've never done this. Of cranberries strung in a tree. These are just wood beads. I bought them as a big long garland, and I have been using these for I don't know how many projects now, but I've been just taking them apart. But today, I'm not actually going to take it apart. I think I'm just going to cut a section off and make my loop to have my hanger, and then I'm going to glue it to the inside or the outside, I'm sorry, of my embroidery wreath, my embroidery hoop. So when I put this down, the glue will secure it, and then this will also secure. I don't know if any of that makes any sense at all or not, but I've got it in my brain. I'll show you what I'm talking about. So this side of the hoop, it's going to have burlap over it, and then it will have the black ring on top of it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue the end. This is going to be my hanger. Just a little dab of hot glue right there. And I'm going to take the very, very end of my jute and stick it right there on that hot glue. Okay, let that kind of dry. I'm going to snip off the extra that I've got raised above with my snips. Normally I take these beads off and I restring them, but I'm being lazy today. I'm trying to do this the quick way. So what I'm going to do is tighten them back up. I want them to go almost up to the edge there. I know you guys are probably having a hard time seeing what I'm doing, but this is going to be my little hanger at the top of my hoop. I think I want it about that long. So see, I have some extra rope in between my beads, and I'm going to cut this and use this. I don't need this section. I think I just lost myself again. Can you guys still see me? I don't know what's going on with the computer this morning. Mark, if you are listening to me, I need your help again. I'm sorry. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and take this end and glue it right here on this side. just like this, with my hot glue. So somebody tell me if you guys can see me or not. I need to know if you're there and if I'm still working. I do see that I have eyeballs. Okay, Shannon, you can see me. So now I can't see myself. All right, thanks. I can't see myself on the phone or on the computer screen, but that's okay, you guys. I'm going to keep working, and I'm going to try my best to make sure that you can actually see what's going on here in front of me. I don't know what's going on. So here's what I've done. I have glued. That's why I didn't take off my beads off of the string and restring them. I just used the string they were already on. I have glued my cranberries on the top of this is my inner wreath. Now I am going to use a piece of burlap. This is going to be my background for my words in the back of my wreath. I'm just going to cut a section off here. So it lays on top of the bottom hoop, just like that. It barely goes edge to edge. I don't know if you'll be able to come around and see what's going on, but you just have to look. Mark's going to try to fix my computer so I can see myself, and I don't see me here either. But I'm just going to keep on working, okay? So I've got my embroidery, or I'm sorry, my burlap laid across my bottom hoop. Here is my top hoop. So when I clamp this down and stretch that burlap out, my beads, I need to make sure my beads are in the middle. I think they are. The beads are already glued there, remember? Thank you. Now I can see myself. I can't on the phone, but that's okay. So my beads are already glued down, but this will be extra security for them. Sometimes it's hard. That burlap is so thick. Let me unscrew it a little bit more. You know, I don't do technology really well, so sometimes I get flustered when things go wrong with the technology, and then other things start going wrong. Yep. I've almost got it. There we go. Okay, now look what we have. So my beads are behind. They are glued in, and then they are also secured in between my two layers of the embroidery hoop. And that was what I was going for, because I wanted to make sure that those beads were not going to come off. And now I can just tighten up my hoop. It's pretty tight already. And then I'm going to flip it over and cut off all this excess. Hey, Jill. Okay, Mark took care of the technology problems, so we're good to go. So I've just flipped it over to the back, and I'm just trimming around the back side. I am going to run a bead of glue around the back side too. Trying to make sure I don't snip my beads. I'm trying to do better with technology. I don't mind it at all, other than I just have always relied on somebody else to take care of me. And I need to get better about that. I need to take care of myself. Okay, now that's the beginning of our wreath then. How cute, it's already cute and there's nothing even on it. So right where I cut everything off in that seam, I'm gonna run a bead of hot glue around it. That's just to make sure that it's not gonna pop apart at all. Got some extra right there, I'll trim off. Looking cute. So when I do this, then you'll be able to see, or I'll be able to tell that it's touching both surfaces and that it is good to go. Kind of mashing it to make sure it's all in there. By the time I get this done, I'm putting that right along the edge of that burlap, and it's kind of hitting both sides of that embroidery hoop, which is what I wanted. Got extra glue there. Just so those two sides are mended together. Y'all know this hot glue dries pretty fast. Okay, so I'm going to slide that out of the way, let it dry. Put my blow dryer down. I might need it. Let me touch this up just for a second. Hold on, bear with me for the noise. Except the blow dryer now has pulled out of the wall. That's okay, I'm not going to blow dry. This may be my week for all things, all plunders, or what do you call it when you have all the boo-boos? You remember earlier in the week I didn't have my hot glue gun plugged in, and then I'm losing my technology today, and then my blow dryer comes undone, but it's all good. It'll all be fine. I'm going to take my extra paper towels and just wipe to make sure that there's no extra paint since I can't blow dry it. I thought it was all dry, and it is. The reason I'm doing that is because I'm going to make this buffalo check now. And what I'm going to use for that process is I have a buffalo plaid stencil, chalk couture stencil. This is one of the silk screens, and I'm actually going to lay it down and make this mini buffalo plaid design all over these words. So chalk couture, these are sticky back silk screens. And inside each one of these X's or boxes, it actually has a screen so that the paste will go through. Hey Mom. Better late than never, Mom. So in each one of these boxes, the paste will actually go right through and onto my surface. Let me get that laid down. There's some kind of crazy noise. Okay, this one has been used multiple times. I cannot tell you how many times in the last year and a half I have used this buffalo check stencil or silk screen. But so it's not got a lot of sticky left to it on the back. I could have used some stencil spray to make it a little bit more sticky, but I think this is fine just the way it is. Sometimes when you're doing buffalo plaid or you're doing any stencil that has a lot of opening area like this, a lot of open sections where your paint's going to go through, you may have air bubbles or whatever. Hey Dawn. But that's fine. If it bleeds a little bit, it's okay. When you look at a piece of fabric that is buffalo plaid, it's not perfect. From a distance, it looks perfect. When you get up close, you can see that the threads are not all perfect. So what I'm going to use is chalk couture chalk paste in black, and then a little squeegee. And I'm just going to take barely any because my words are not very thick. And I'm just going to go over the surface of my letters, okay? So I kind of have to, because I can't see them, to know exactly where the letters are. I can only see it every once in a while. I'll just have to kind of feel around until I know I've got it all covered. So what this does is your paste, I'm using chalk paste, it goes through those screens onto your surface below, which in this case is my letters, and it sticks there, and then where there is no screen, of course, no paint goes through or no paste goes through. I can use regular stencils, but you have to blot, and there's more chance of bleed through, and I just prefer to use chalk couture. Or any other sticky back stencils. You know, yesterday I used the Joy letters from yesterday were, I can't remember the brand, but I think I bought them at Michael's. And those work great too. They're just a different texture. So I'm going to raise this up even though it's not completed and let you see. It is kind of hard because I have to make sure that I've got every section of each letter done, but you might be able to see. You can tell that I can feel the letters a little bit as I rub over the top. And it kind of gives me the imprint of the letter as well. This is going to be super cute. I don't want to use a lot of paste because I don't want to waste it, first of all. And the less I use, the less chance for bleed through. But I do want to make sure I get every single part of the letter covered so that that screen, I can get the paste through the screen. Buffalo check is such a hot design tool right now. It's buffalo check everything. Okay, I'm about 2/3 of the way there. That had an air bubble right there. It may have bled a little bit. I can't tell yet until I raise it up. But like I said, if it bled a little bit, it's not a problem. It's still going to be so cute. It'll just make it look more rustic. There's a big air bubble. This paste was pretty wet. Sometimes if I don't have it wet enough, I will start raising up my stencil on the end where it possibly could be drying, but I think I'm okay this time. Get the tail of the Y there, and now down to the S on Christmas. Of course, I'm doing this upside down. Okay, I think I've pretty much got it covered. Okay, let me raise this up. Excuse me. Oh, you guys, how cute. Look at this. Let me lay my stencil on my paper. Look at how cute. It says Merry Christmas, but it is in buffalo check. And of course, I'm wearing a pink shirt, which makes it hard to see that you can see the words. When it's in front of me, it makes it a little bit harder to see. But this is so cute. So it's going to go on the front of that burlap. But I'm going to let it dry. But I love it. Love it. And I was going for it matching my Christmas tree ribbon and matching my other buffalo check ribbon. So that was the look I was going for. I think we've been successful. What do you guys think? I think it's super cute. So it needs to dry. It does not take very long for chalk couture inks to dry at all, or paste to dry. I'm going to lay it on this and get it out of my way for a minute. And then I'm going to go right back to, I'm going to go ahead while that's drying and work on the bow and the decorations. Because remember, I have this hook at the top and I want to cover up that hook. I think it's ugly. So I don't want it to show at all. So I'm going to be making a ribbon. I'm going to do a messy bow again. A refabbed bow. Try to decide how long I want this to be. Let me get a good smooth edge here. This is my first time using this ribbon. You guys, this is one of these spools that I got at Sam's Club. I'm telling you, Sam's Club and Costco, I've heard, are the place to buy ribbon when you're buying it in bulk. Oh, thank you, Shannon. Thanks, Mom. When you're buying ribbon in bulk and you know you're going to use it, you may use it year after year, buy it at a big box store like Sam's or Costco. This is, okay, it's 50 yards. It's 150 feet of 2.5-inch wide ribbon. And it's either $6.98 or $7.98. I think it's $6.98. I want to say it's $7 plus tax for 150 feet. You guys, you only get 30 feet for like $5 to $10 at Hobby Lobby or Michael's. So it's just a great price. So I want my bow to be about the width of the top of my embroidery hoop. So I've got one ribbon cut. Remember, this is going to be a refabbed bow or a messy bow. So I want them to be about the same length as each other. Got two there. I'll fold it in half. I'm going to dovetail the ends by making a snip from the inside fold out to those wires. So now it's dovetailed. They don't have to be perfect. It's going to be so cute. Okay, so I've got two of those. Basically, I need at least two of every style of ribbon. So I know I'm using that one. I've got my regular roll of burlap, a brand new roll, but I've also got this. It's not burlap and it's not really a gold, but it's got some shimmer to it. And it's like I don't know if you call that a lattice look or what, but I think it's super cute. I think I'm going to use it today. I'm going to cut off a couple of pieces of that. I like the way it has stiffness to it, but yet it's soft at the same time. And I think I can dovetail this. I don't think it'll fray really bad, so let me see. Yeah, perfect. Like that. Okay, do this end. So basically I need two of every kind of ribbon that I'm going to be using. I usually go with my biggest ribbons first, and I start by making an X. And then my next size ribbon will go on top, making another X, the same X. I'll hold this up in a minute and show you. I know I'm using the buffalo plaid. That was the whole reason for this project. Need both my pieces to match. I'm thinking this may need some more oomph to it, so let's see. Y'all, I usually bring down a whole bunch of different ribbons and greeneries and stuff, and I may or may not use it, and I may not plan to use it at all and then decide I needed it. You know, just, I don't really ever have a total plan in my mind. I have an idea, and then sometimes you just have to change the idea. Okay, so here's my X so far. So I've got three different, got the trees, the goldish color, and then the buffalo plaid. I do have some candy cane stripe too, but I think I like the candy cane stripe. We'll use it. Oh, I may not. I'm in my last little piece of candy cane. I don't have enough. I think I'll add the burlap then. I thought I had more of that stripe left. I thought that would be cute. I just think it needs some more thickness, so I'm going to add the burlap to the back. This is my favorite burlap with those permanent frayed edges. When they're manufactured fray edges, they only fray so far. I mean, if they're stitched, so it's got like a little fraying around the edges. So it gives it the frayed look without it actually making a mess when it frays. So I'm going to start with these as my base, and then add these others on top. I guess I'll cut it way longer than what I thought. Okay, so here's what I have. This is going to be my messy bow, and now all I need to do is cut my string. If only I had a piece of string. This is another one of those projects. Oh, actually, you know what? I forgot to bring down my string, my jute, but this is the jute that came off of the price tag that was on that the Merry Christmas sign. I'm going to use that. We don't want to waste anything. Okay, so literally all you do is you take your jute or whatever, twine, whatever you're going to tie it with, take it right across the top of your X, flip it upside down, and tie it in a knot. Hey Lexi, hope you're having a good day. And then just tie it as tight as you possibly can. Now this is a thinner jute. It may slip a little bit, so I'll have to be careful. There we go. Okay, so here's my messy bow. I'm just going to fluff up all the layers. I want to be able to see all of the different types of ribbon that are in there. And it's called a messy bow for a reason. But I think it's super cute. So it is going to go right at the top. It's going to cover up my hook, or my screw at the top. It's going to go right smack in the middle. Let me check my words. I think they're pretty dry. There's my Merry Christmas. I'm going to go ahead and get it on so I know what else I want to add. Now, my Merry Christmas is larger than my hoop. I knew it was going to be. That's fine. That's what I wanted. That was the look I was going for. I wanted to make sure that it stood out really well, and it does. So I need to get it glued down, and then I'll be able to tell where I need everything else at. You guys, as you jump on, I see I'm getting new eyeballs. As you jump on, let me know you're here. Say hi. Give me a shout out. Believe me, I want to know if you sprinkle the video to your friends. I'd appreciate knowing. Trying to make sure I get plenty of the glue, but I need to get it done before it dries. Okay, I think just like that. Let me mash it from underneath. I'll probably burn my hand some. This is why I wanted to paint the outside of my hoop black, because it just ties it together. What do you guys think so far? I'm going to go ahead and glue my bow at the top, and then I'll add my greenery next. Let me clip off some of this extra long pieces in the back. Lots and lots of hot glue for this. And I'm going to put it right at the top where my hook is, or where my screw is. I want that covered up. And I want to be able to mash hard so that glue really sticks. Thank you, Ruth. You know I have to add some greenery still. On this one, I actually do think I'm going to put a little bit at the bottom. I'm going to change it up a little bit today. Okay, here's what we have so far. Is it looking cute? This will be so cute on the front door, or, I mean, you could hang this on a hook on, you know, your entryway coat rack or whatever. This is not necessarily just a front door item. Let me get my glue up that I've spilt here. Let that hot glue drip down. Okay, so what I have remnants today. I have remnants of my frosty green, like a boxwood plant. I have a whole sprig with, it's got pine cones and berries and the pine needles and greenery. I'm really thinking, thanks Shannon, I need some greenery at the top, but I really want something at the bottom too. And then I have this remnant piece too. You guys know I snip everything apart. I keep all my extra pieces. I never know when or how I'm going to use it. I've also got some red berries. So I'm just going to go and start putting my greenery in the way that I like it, and we'll see how it turns out. Snip these apart. I'm not even sure if I'm going to use all of this, or if I'm going to use most of it or part of it, or what, but I'm going to get it cut apart so I see what I have. I like to be different. I just do. I don't like to waste anything. I don't want to use an entire pick if I don't need to use an entire pick to achieve the look that I like. Put all my elements back here. This is a pick that came from, this may be a Dollar Tree. I'm not positive. I can't read the name. But I always take these apart too. It's got an apple. I'm not big on the apples. I know it's red and all that, but it's not my thing necessarily. So I'm gonna take that one off, put this guy back some. I know I'm gonna use some berries. This one just pulls off. So basically, I just dissected, okay? That's what we've done. I love these. I know I'm going to use this. Thank you, Jill. So now I've just got to decide what goes where. But I always want greenery. I can tell you I want that piece right there. So I'm just going to add hot glue all around the end. Since I'm sticking this to burlap and my bow, it is going to stick super, super easy. I always get to coughing because when I'm cutting this burlap, all the little fuzzies. Hey, Clem, how are you? All the little fuzzies are flying around. It's like little dust bunnies, and they get in my throat. And I think I'm going to put this piece on this side. I like it when the guys start watching too. Clem is my nephew-in-law. Guess that's what you call it. Alright, so I've got some greenery started at the top. And I'm going to add in, I think up there I want to use these big berries. That's the fun thing about making things yourself. You do it the way you like it. Make it fun, enjoy it. Hold that down. Oh, I accidentally messed up my burlap. There we go. Let me hold that for a second. I kind of pulled up the glue a little bit. So this is what I have so far. A little bit of greenery, a little bit of berries. I know I want to use the pine cone somewhere. It's an awful big pine cone though. I may not use the pine cone. It's really super long. It's kind of a funny shape. If I can cut it, I might use it.